What's up everybody? Welcome back to Unparalleled Universe for another action figure review, and today we're taking a look at something that I realize doesn't appeal to a whole lot of people, but I'm a big fan of this toy box line, so every time I get a chance to talk about a new figure from the line, I jump on it. So what we have here today is the Disney Toybox Star Wars Mandalorian figure, and this is dope because he was just announced maybe a couple of weeks ago, and then he was available on the site, and then he was available in store. It all happened really fast, and that's something I really like about the toy box line. They always catch me by surprise. There's been times where I didn't even realize a figure was on the way or announced or coming out, and I'll just walk into the store and they'll be hanging on the peg. So I think that's awesome, and that's something that Toybox is consistently doing. Maybe they announce the stuff and I just don't pay that much attention, but in any case, I like a line that could catch me by surprise. But let's go ahead and get into it. Starting off with the packaging, first off, we do have the standard Disney Toy Box packaging. It's usually all the same. There's the white background. We have a little bit of graphics over here. It has the Disney logo, Star Wars Toy Box. Right here it says the Mandalorian and the child included. That's really dope. On the side of the box, we get some stylized artwork of Mando. That looks good. On the back of the box, we get some artwork for some figures that might have already been released or might be on the way. I know they've already put out a Darth Vader, and I don't know if they put out an Imperial Stormtrooper. They put out some kind of troopers. I'm not really sure exactly which ones, but they've done a lot of Star Wars figures. But having these characters on the back of this figure that just came out when Darth Vader came out like a couple of years ago kind of makes me think that maybe they're gonna do a new Darth Vader, because they have done some like updates of certain figures. So I would like to see them do another Darth Vader, even though I did like the original one. But back here isn't a look at any figures, it's just some like graphics, you know. But yeah, it does look really cool. Then here's the price. In the US they cost $14.99, Canada $19.99. I do think that's a little expensive, and the price has been going up on these things slowly. If they get any higher than that, I probably will stop buying them because I like them. I just don't know if they're worth that much. I'm excited to take a look at this. The packaging is not collector friendly. Once you open it, it's garbage. But let's go ahead and rip Mando out of the box and see what's going on. And so here we have Mando and the child right out of the box, and the Mandalorian is looking really nice. I especially like the shine to the armor. I like that chrome look that he has. And just in general, the sculpting work on this guy is very well done. All the paint is really clean. I couldn't find any imperfections or anything like that. Just in general, the figure came out really good looking. One thing I kind of dislike about it right off the top is the way that he holds the gun. Because as you could see, his fingers are not separate, so you can't stick them into the trigger guard. So that does kind of suck. So I'm not sure if I'm going to maybe cut the trigger guard or maybe cut the finger or do something, because I want that to look a little bit better. That feels a little outdated, you know. I think they could have definitely made it so his finger was kind of extended so you could fit it in there. But luckily, if you don't want him to awkwardly hold his gun, you can stick it into the holster here. And it fits in there very nicely with no problem at all. So there you go. But yeah, this figure looks really good. And if you're not familiar with the Disney Toy Box line, the designs are based on the way that the characters looked in the Disney Infinity game. Now, I don't know if every single figure that's been released in the Toy Box line actually appeared in the game, but the style is influenced by that game. And I think it looks cool. Especially, you know, you just got to know what it is. It's like a goofy, stylized version of these characters, but I think it translates to the Mandalorian really nice. It translates to all the Star Wars ones really nice. I like a bunch of the Star Wars figures from this line. But yeah, the Mandalorian looks really good, and then we have the child here. And he's not removable, but this looks good. One thing that does kind of suck about this is he doesn't come with the stand so that you could have the child floating along with Mando. So I'm going to have to figure something out for that. But yeah, it's dope that he even came with this. That's really awesome. The sculpting and the paintwork is very well done on Mando. As you can see, the head sculpt does look very nice. There is a little bit of black paint missing on the inside there. You could see some silver poking through, but it doesn't look too bad in person. It's just when I'm zoomed in on the camera here, we can notice those imperfections. But when I'm just looking at the figure, I don't feel like I need to touch it up or anything. I think it looks fine. And overall, this head sculpt is really great. We got some nice looking sculpted details throughout the whole head sculpt. So that's cool. And then moving down into the body, we do have his little bandolier thing here with some bullets. And then we have his armor that looks really nice. And he is missing his Mudhorn insignia there. So I'm not sure why they left that out. And moving down into the forearms, you can see his little forearm mechanics there are sculpted on there. They look good. The hands look good. We've got his orange fingertips. Then on this side too, we have his little blaster that looks nice. And then on the belt here, we have some more bullets. We have his holster that holds his gun with no problem at all. So that all looks really good. What else do we got going on back here? A few things here in the back. They left out some paint on these bullets, but that's alright. They're hidden anyways by the cape. And the cape is like a soft plastic. Doesn't really get in the way or anything like that. And it does look really good. We have some sculpted creases in there and stuff. So I like the way the cape came out. And moving down into the legs, we have some pretty nice paint detail. It's all very clean and it looks good. Right there it gets a little crazy, but for the most part it looks really nice. And yeah, the sculpting work and the paint detail on this figure are very well done, so I'm pretty happy with that. And the child looks really good too, and he's very well sculpted. You can see that his face has a little smile on it, then his eyes kind of have like a reflective look. There's some detail on his clothes, even his nails are painted. So they kind of went all out with the child here, and it does look really nice. He's in his little pod here that has some sculpted details, but not a whole lot of paint. But Baby Yoda himself looks really nice, and he does look a little bit more cartoony than Mando, but Mando has a helmet on, so, you know, he looks a little less cartoony. But when you look close at the child, he looks very in line with the rest of the toy box line. But yeah, I think the little pod that he comes in looks good, and he looks good in it. So, and now for some size comparisons. Here we have Mando and the child alongside the Disney Toybox Yoda and the Disney Toybox Force Ghost Yoda. And both of these figures actually came in a set together. And even if you're not a big fan of the Disney Toybox style, I still think this Yoda set is worth picking up, because I feel like this Yoda could almost pass for like a Clone Wars version of Yoda, because it has like an animated style. It might not be perfectly accurate to that show, but I think it's close enough because of how cartoony he looks. I think it would look pretty good alongside your, you know, Black Series Clone Wars figures. But anyways, that's not what this review is about. I just figured I'd mention it because I really do love this Yoda figure. It's probably my favorite figure in the toy box line along with Mickey Mouse. So yeah, I like that one a lot. And I think that both of these figures look really cool along with Mando and the child here. And then next up we have them alongside the Disney Toybox Han Solo and the Disney Toybox Chewbacca. And this Han Solo is really nice too. It's another one of my favorites in the line. And then now here we have them alongside the Disney Toybox Boba Fett and the Disney Toybox Darth Vader. And I believe that Disney has put out a Toybox Jango Fett, so I'm going to have to get that too, because I like the way that they do these Mandalorian armor characters. I think they look really good. And if you want to get some Marvel Star Wars crossover action going, here we have Mando and the child alongside the Disney Toybox Star-Lord and the Disney Toybox Doctor Strange. And because it is standard protocol, here we have Mando and the child alongside the Marvel Legends Bucky Cap and Marvel Legends Pizza Spider-Man. And then for the final size comparison, here we have the Toybox Mando and the child alongside their Black Series counterparts. And I kind of want to say that I like the look of the armor a little bit more on the Toybox version. Not to say that the Black Series is bad at all, but I really like the shine that the Toybox version has. When you put them next to each other, you could see that the Toybox version is a little more shiny, and I think that's really dope. But the Black Series looks great too. Nothing wrong with this figure at all, but I just really like the shine on the Toybox version. And just so you guys know, this is the Black Series version, but he does have a Harker Customs cape on, and that really took this figure to the next level. This is badass. I wasn't sure if I was gonna review this, but I think I might, because I really like the way this figure came out. But I think it would have been a little bit better if the armor was as shiny as the Toybox version. So that's kind of crazy. But still, it's a really nice figure. And as far as articulation goes, Mando has pretty much the same articulation as every other Disney Toybox figure. So that means there's not a whole lot going on here, but there's enough to have some fun with it and to get him into some cool poses. But let's go ahead and get into it, starting off with the head. First off, the head does move side to side. There's a little bit of tilt to it, but not a whole lot. He can look up to about right there, and then he could look down to right there. And then for the torso, all we have is a waist swivel. And that's cool, but I really wish that there was like a ball joint at the waist or a diaphragm cut or something like that. I think that if they did that, it would take these figures to the next level. But as it is right now, we just have a waist swivel. And you know, that works, so that's okay. And then for the arms, they do go all the way around. And you can bring his arms up to the side a really good amount, but you just have to tuck the armor under the cape. And then you could bring his arms up to right there. So that's pretty good. And then at the elbow, we have a single jointed elbow that only bends to about right there. So not a whole lot of bend. It's a little less than 90. And then we have a swivel at the elbow. And then at the hand, we have a hinge. and a swivel. The legs come out to the side to about right there. They come forward to about right there. They come back to right there. And then we have a single jointed knee that also has a swivel. And then at the foot we have a swivel and then a hinge. And it looks like his feet do not rock at all. Some of the Disney Toy Box figures actually have rocking ankles, but Mando does not. So yeah, not a whole lot of articulation, but again, that's not really what these figures are about. These are just kind of like, you know, representations of that Disney Infinity game that you could kind of pose around, and they just kind of look cool hanging out there. So as long as you know what you're getting into as far as the articulation goes, you should know what to expect, and you shouldn't really be disappointed because he pretty much has the same articulation that you've come to expect from this line, and I think it's enough for what we have going on here. But some minimal additions could really take these things to the next level. Alright, so overall, like I said at the beginning, I know that this line isn't for everybody, and I'm sure that I'm going to get a bunch of comments from people going like, oh, these are stupid toys for kids, why do you like them, you dumbass, blah 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 blah. And that's not necessarily wrong. These are definitely intended for younger children, but I like them. I like the design, and I think they're a lot of fun. So with that said, I think this is a great set. Mandalorian came out really good. I think the sculpting work on him is very well done. I love the shine to the armor. That metallic chrome look really comes across very well on this figure. The one problem I do have with him is the fact that he can't hold his gun naturally because his fingers are sculpted together, so you can't get his finger into the trigger guard, and that does kind of suck, but I might have to modify him to fix that. We'll see. I'm not really sure what I'm going to do, and I also wish there was more articulation on him, but that's not really a problem with this figure specifically. That's an issue I have with the line in general. I think they should just add a little bit more articulation, and these things would be freaking badass, like undeniably so. As it is right now, the articulation is minimal, but it's enough to play around with and have some fun. But I think if they added a little bit more articulation, then it would kind of justify the price increase that we've seen on these guys lately, because originally, I want to say these figures were like $10.99 when they first came out, and then they jumped up to $12.99, and now they're like $14.99. And to me, that's, you know, they're pushing it right there. That's it's kind of getting to the point where it's almost not worth it. For this set, it comes with Mando and the child, so I thought it was worth it, you know, but for other figures, it's almost, you know, I don't buy as many of these figures as I want because of the price increase. So hopefully they either go back down or add a little bit more articulation to kind of make it worth it, you know. I think that would be great. But as it is right now, I do like this set a lot. Mando's nice, the child is nice, and I'm happy that I have it. So there it is. I think this is a nice set, and I think he's gonna look really good next to the other Disney Toy Box Star Wars figures that I have. So I am very happy to have this. And with that, I think that's it. Thank you so much for watching. Please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and all that good stuff. Also be sure to hit the bell notification so you know every time that I go live. Peace.